Well, hello friends, and welcome back to Always Hacking. Today we are going to work on the text editor widget a little bit because there is a feature that I miss when editing code in Serenity, and it's to be able to see unnecessary white space at the end of a line. So if I have some white space right here, that white space doesn't need to be there, and I kind of like it when editors show that in some way. Like in red, for example. So that's what we'll be doing today. We'll just be catching trailing white space and then having a way to visualize that, and then maybe making that a setting that you can set on your text editor widget. So let's see. We'll just make it a setting right away. Visualize trailing white space, maybe. Maybe that setting should be called that. Yeah, that's kind of an okay name. Okay. And we put it together with all the other flags. Maybe we'll turn it on always now while we're testing. It can be on by default, and you can turn it off if you like. Okay, and then we will add the API here. So set visualize trailing white space. So catch no ops, and just repaint if the setting changes. I think that's all there is to it, really. Okay, so then when we paint a text editor, now comes the tricky part. So let's see. How does this work again? So we paint text in a text document is broken up into visual lines, and a visual line can be either one physical line, so like one sequence of characters separated by a new line character, or it can also be stuff that we have word wrapped or line wrapped in the editor. But we always iterate visual lines here. So for each visual line, and we only care about new line characters at the end of the physical line. We don't care if they're at the end of a visual line. So let's see. Because the reason that I say that is because imagine that we have something like this, right? And then I have a bunch of stupid white space at the end. But we do something like that, or like that. Now the white space here is not trailing, right? It's not at the end of the physical line. It's just at the end of a visual line. So we don't care about that. Also, I noticed that I can't press down here to traverse, which doesn't feel quite right. I feel like we should allow you to do that. This thing doesn't even have wrapping turned on. Hold on while I turn on wrapping so I can see how it feels in Cube Creator. Where do I even turn this on? Help. Where is this? Advanced. Visualize white space. Oh, check that out. But I only want to see the trailing white space, not all of it. Where was I? Advanced. And text wrapping. Yes. Okay, so if I press down here, yeah, it lets me go down on the same physical line. Anyway, so we want to catch trailing white space on the physical line of text. So for each visual line, and then within this line, what we do is that we have a fast path here for plain text, where we simply call draw text. Okay, so we should probably make a little test file for this. Call it W for whitespace. Buzz. This one has no whitespace. No whitespace here either. Okay. And. So spans, whether we have spans or not. So the spans are used by the syntax highlighting. So a span is like a segment of the document that is drawn with like a bold font or a different color, and the syntax highlighter creates spans. So if we don't have spans for this document, that means that we can just simplify rendering quite a bit by just calling draw text. So there are two paths here for that reason. And then selection is done at the very end. Interesting. So I guess we can do the whitespace at the very last, because it doesn't matter. We don't need to draw text again. We simply need to draw a rect if this visual line contains the end of the physical line, and the physical line ends in a whitespace. Okay. How do we know that? Start of visual line. So this is this lambda here is called with start of visual line, and that's the index into the physical line. And then we have the text here. So the length of the text plus the start will tell us if we're at the end of the physical line. But we can compute a bool here maybe. Is last visual line in is end of physical line, let's say, or visual line contains end of physical line. Yeah, that's a descriptive name. So if the start of the visual line plus the visual line text length is the, I guess we want the length of the physical line. Wait, how do we know that? Oh, that's here. That's what line is. Okay. Line length. Let me see if I got this right. Contains end. And let me also chunk out the actual text here. So just to see if my logic is good. What am I messing up here? I can't pass a UTF-38 view. Oh. Is that what that is? Visual line text is UTF-32 view. I guess I can't do that. That's annoying. Okay, I'll just cheese it. Okay, we'll use a string builder. I don't have a convenience function for printing out a UTF-32 view, which is what the text editor uses. Text editor uses full 32-bit UTF encoding at the moment. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, because the cursor is blinking, then we re-render. So these all have the end, but what if we do a little bit of breaking here so that we have no white space here either? No white space, huh? Does not have the end on it, but ear either has the end. Okay, so that seems correct. All right. So yes, and then if visual line contains and the physical line and line, how do we, what do we find here? Text document line. We want to know if it ends in whitespace. Maybe it ends in whitespace. We can make a helper for that. So let's see. If this is 0 length, then we say you don't end in whitespace. Otherwise, we'll say return code points length -1 if that is a space character. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so if visual line contains end of physical line and line ends in whitespace, then what we got to do next is compute how many, or what is the index of the first non-whitespace character starting from the end. Okay. And of course, if m visualize trailing whitespace needs to be true as well. So then we need the first non-whitespace column. That's not what we want. We want the last non-whitespace column, I guess. Column is kind of it's not a great name here. It's I guess it used to be called column because a line would have columns, but we'll say offset. Last non-whitespace character offset, maybe. Maybe column is not the worst. I don't know. I don't know what I think about it. You know what? I'm gonna call it column for now. So let's go and say first non-whitespace column. We'll also invent his sneaky counterpart, last non-whitespace column. And of course this guy will start at the very end. And we'll do a backwards iteration. Yeah. Okay. And then we have to make a rect out of this so that we can draw it. So let's see. Graphics int rect whitespace rect. So we have content x for position, and then we have to provide a text position, which will be, text position is physical, so that's the current line index for the line, and the column is the index. Okay, actually, so column does make sense here because what we're computing is text position. Okay, so I was maybe wrong to whine about column. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're computing the x, and then the y of this thing, I guess, is whatever whatever the visual line y is, and the width is however many pixels left of line. So that would be I guess we have to compute using the font. So font width. Wait, is this what we're painting with? Draw text. Yeah, I guess we're just using the font of the widget. Okay, okay. Font width of. Then we need to make a UTF-32 view that starts at. Wait. Does this thing have any handy tools? It has substring view. That's good. Okay. So we can use line view, substring view, column, line length minus column. Is that right? And then the height is just the visual line rect height. Okay, let's see if we can paint this rectangle. Whitespace rect, and I'm just going to do a full-on red. We'll see see what kind of rect I made here. Oh wait, they only come out when I'm selecting? That's so weird. Did I put this in the selection block? Yes, I did. Okay. That was a mistake. There we go. I made it conditional on there being a selection on that line, which obviously should not be a condition for showing the whitespace visualization. Oh, we have a startup crash, but I'm not gonna debug that now. Ooh, look at this. Okay, so it's a little bit off. Because there's something under there that I'm supposed to see. It's supposed to say foo bar, right? Right? Foo bar. Yeah. And then if we... There's no white space on that line. That's good. That doesn't look right. Column is all weird. Okay, so that's a little bit wrong. The x value stays the same no matter what, no matter if we've done a line break or not. And also we're like, there's a one off, or an off by one rather. So let's see, last non-white space column. So if it is space, let's see, so we start at the end, and wait, is text position 0 based? Now I forget. I feel like it's 0 based. It is 0 based. It's just that we show it, we add 1 so that it becomes 1 based in the UI. I'm pretty sure, but let me double check that. Status bar. Where do we show the cursor? Update status bar cursor. Yeah, here, line +1. Right. Okay, so line is 1 based, column is 0 based. So is that wait, what am I trying to do here? Content X for position, line index, and column. So if that were +1, is that correct? Now I'm doing the non-scientific method here, just doing a +1 and seeing what changes. Sometimes we have to do that. Okay, so +1 here fixes the offset, but this part here does not look right, because this line should be completely red. Also, line breaking is totally bogus because it stays here when it should actually be here as well, now that I think about it. So this thing should be fully red, and here as well. Okay, so actually, visual line contains ends of physical line should not be a condition for drawing the red. It should be whether the visual line contains trailing white space. So let's not compute that way. Okay, so if line ends in white space, so if there is trailing white space, okay, so line, last non-white space column, yes, and then what we'll do is we'll check here if the visual line index is greater than, or wait, hold on. If the visual line starts after or on the last non-white space column. Wait, no, it doesn't matter if it starts. It matters if it contains it. Oh, offset math. Why is offset math like this? I always trip up on the offset math. So, so we have a line like this, and it spans multiple visual lines, say, like this. And then these are white space here. Or let's say, actually, that we have something like this. So, if we're on this line, we want to paint some red at the end. So, the visual line index is here, and the column is here. So in our case, we want column to be greater than visual line. Column is greater than visual line. But that's also true here. But column should be less than the end. That's what we want. So column is less than line, oh no, visual line index plus visual line text length. The X still comes out wrong. I wonder why. We'll see. Okay, so if we break, now we have the red here, but not here. Dang it. If column is less than, okay, so hold on. Column. We can call this visual line end, maybe. Just see what we're looking at. Okay, so let's nuke all of that, and then so 7, 11, and 7. Oh, 3. Wait. 3, 4. Visual line end. before. That doesn't make sense to me. What is that even? Visual line index. Oh shit! Visual line index is not what I think it is. I'm using visual line index instead of start a visual line. That's what I want. Start a visual line, not visual line index. Visual line index is like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on y index of the line that we're currently drawing. That's what I'm doing wrong. So start a visual line. Yeah. Right, yeah, it's incremented here after every time we draw a line. Okay, so now we're getting red on both, except the x coordinate is not right. Outside of that is pretty cool. So why is the content x for position coming out this way? So what does content x for position actually do? We're passing in a line index and a column. And line index is the current line that we're painting, sure. But it kind of feels like it doesn't take the line wrapping into account. So what does it do? So content x for position will iterate for each visual line of the physical line that we pass him. And then it will compute an offset into the visual line. Okay, so we shuffle the x to the right. So this feels like it should take the line breaking into account. Content x for position, unless I'm screwing up what I'm passing in, which I guess I am somehow. Where's the code I was writing? Is it here? No. Wait, what is this even? An unused function. But it is used. You're lying to me, QCreator. Okay, anyway. So here, I'm passing in this little text position that I'm constructing. And probably I'm saying something stupid in that text position, so let's see what we are constructing. Actually, yeah, it is stupid because the column is always the same. What we need is the column within this visual line. So this is, right, so this is the x for the, where it starts, but what we need is column plus, oh wait, so if the trailing white space starts on this line, so the visual column, let's rename this here. Hold on. Let's see, so this is the physical column, and then we'll call this the end of visual line. The visual column. And the visual column is It must be the physical column minus the start of the visual line. Physical column minus start of visual line. I think. But then we should also use that here for computing the size of the, or the width of the whitespace highlight. Okay, all right. Text editing or GUI, text editor GUI, so fun stuff. Ooh, we ate shit. Dang it. All right, so I'm passing something invalid to substring view. Let's see what we're doing here. Physical column start a visual line. And then the resulting visual column is going to be some negative number because there's some off by one here that I'm not thinking about again. Alright, so break that, and indeed we go negative because the physical column is 7 and the visual line starts at 12. So this is a really dumb subtraction. It needs to go the other way around, I guess. Wait, does that even, what am I even, no. What am I trying to do here? I want to know which column visually. Physical column is less than end of visual line. So if the physical column is greater than the start of the visual line, then we subtract, otherwise we just use the start of the visual line. Take me away from all this offset math. Okay, so that's clearly not right. Dang it. Also, this looks very silly. Let's see. Visualizing whitespace for physical line index. I'm just gonna do some more printf debugging here, see what we can find out. I think we'll do this just to make it easier to see what's going on. So here, what are we looking at? Physical column, this is 2 of them. Okay, so physical column is 7 in both cases, that's just here. And then the first visual line starts at 0. And the second one starts at 12. So we shouldn't use 12 here, because we're looking for the visual column. Oh, crap. Oh, right. So then it should be a 0. Because what we're computing is the visual column, not the physical one. Ugh. It's just something about coordinate spaces and offset spaces, like converting between them. It never gets easier. You just have to get through it. So that's a start, although now it goes to the end of the line. which I don't love. So why does it fill the whole thing with substring starting at visual column? But that's not what we want. Oh, right, we don't want visual column here. We still want physical column here. Wait. Or what we want is visual line text, substring from visual column. Yes. Okay, it's all starting to fall into place. I thought this would be a little bit easier for me, but I guess it's not one of those days. So again, I'm messing this up because visual column is, we already printed that actually, it's 7. Visual column. And, oh, line length should just be visual line text. The more I work on this, the more I feel like we need to rename some things here. Like the things that are physical should probably be named physical, and the things that are visual should be named visual. Finally. This is what I wanted. See, now it's behaving right. Gosh dang, that was unnecessarily messy. So what's going on the last line? That's not good. I guess that's that +1 thing, because it's a 0 because we don't have any non-white space line and set white space. Let's see. So if if the line starts in white space, then this should be a 0. Okay, so it's a lie to say that 0 is non-white space. So let's change the API so that it returns optional. Then we no longer have to lie. It's a little bit different here, but the first non-white space column, it can return length because that's like the past the end of the line, and then it's not lying. Whereas this one lies if we say the 0 is is the last non-white space column. So value or no, this gets messy. Let's see. Last non-white space column. So if we have a value, then last non-white or physical column is last non-white space column. Value +1, else physical column is 0. Okay. Nope. Let's see. Oh, right. I have to make it actually return an empty optional, or it's not going to work. Okay. See? Now you can see here visually that it's white space. Although I don't love that the selection is not showing up. That's not good. Selection should take priority over this. So we should probably do this before the selection. Good, and then I can select the white space, yes. And what happens if the selection spans a wrapped line? It works. Very, very cool. And if I type here, yes, exactly. Stuff before it stops being red, stuff after stays red. Foobar baz. Very funky. So would this be a frustrating thing when you are just typing? It is a bit weird that, like, when you type space at the end of a line, it does this. That does feel a little bit weird. But maybe it's okay. Maybe it's just that the red is kind of jarring. So what kind of palette colors do we have? I guess we can just take, I was thinking we could use like the ruler color, just tweak it a little bit. So ruler, do we have something like text? I'm looking for something like a disabled text. Inactive selection. That's just gonna make it look like an inactive selection now. Ruler. Let me try it. Maybe this should be its own thing. Because we do have like syntax highlighting stuff. Wait, didn't I do a dither thing? We could do a dither pattern. That could be really tight. Let's try that. Fill rect with dither pattern. Dude, check this out. Okay, so we're gonna use transparent and color red. I did a dither pattern thing for the scroll bar look a while ago. Oh, that doesn't come out black, it comes out, I mean, it doesn't come out transparent, it comes out black. That's not what I wanted. Dither pattern. This thing should respect alpha, I guess. Should we blend? Painter is really not super great about this type of stuff already. So let's see. If checkerboard, use A. Color A. If it has alpha, continue, I don't know, yeah. That's a really goofy change. This function needs to be improved and do blending and stuff, but I'm not going to care about that right now. Just going to at least respect the alpha. So we get something like that. Very interesting. Interesting ring. So if we were to not use red, but we would instead use palette ruler, we could get this very subtle effect. I'm looking for something subtle that you still notice, but it's almost too subtle. It is interesting. What if we had red, but it was like kind of a brighter red? So something like FF Cocoa. Now we're really doing the important part here. Okay, now I'm starting to like it. This feels very spicy. So here, if I'm just doing my programming, and I have some dumbass white space right here, see, it sticks out, but it's still kind of subtle. And if I'm just programming, like, oh, look at that, all that extra white space we inserted automatically. That's probably something we should do something about, but it's good that it highlights it. So, white space visualization is interesting and also cool. So let's turn that into a comment, and boom. White space at the end of comments. Yeah. Okay, I like it. Let's enable this. So first we'll do the painter change. Let GUI painter. Wait. What's wrong with this line? Oh, it's not in libGUI. Okay. libgraphics. Make fill rect with dither pattern. Ignore skip alpha pixels. Maybe this should do for blending, but for now, at least skip source pixels that have 0 alpha. Spare colors. Okay, and then git commit libGUI. Implement trailing white space visualization. So this visualization is definitely not final. I think we can probably come up with some better way to show this, better choice of color. Maybe we make it themable. Probably we should make it themable. Maybe there's something better than the other pattern. It's just what comes to me naturally right now, so I'm just going with that in the first cut. Text. This patch adds optional mode where TextEditor displays or highlights trailing white space characters on each line with a nice reddish dither pattern. The visualization, we should probably make this themable, and it could, I'm sure it could be nicer somehow, but this is just a first cut, and I kind of like it. And I do kind of like it. Alright. Yeah. So, of course, this opens up a reason to work on auto indentation as well, because like the way that it was behaving when I was like pressing enter here, right? Like you see that it just creates these. Maybe a better behavior would be if you press enter multiple times, then it would sort of retract the previous line that it just added. Retract the white space, keep the new line, but remove the white space. I don't know. Stuff to work on. Anyways, that's pretty cool. So, I guess this is going to be it for today's video. So, if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out. And I hope that you saw something interesting. And I think this could be pretty nice. Let's step into some interesting code here. Go into printf, and then what if I can't type here because it's open read only. Interesting. And I guess it doesn't have excess white space because we are pretty good about that. Anyway, so I guess we don't have that. I'll just put some of myself right here. Look at that. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope to see you next time.